We have new information tonight about a fatal Saturday morning house fire in North Sioux City, South Dakota. The fire chief there tells us that fire was caused by a propane gas leak. North Sioux City Fire Rescue is still investigating following the fire that broke out on Bancroft Court. The home heavily damaged. 3 people were inside. They died. You can see windows and debris in the yard outside. Fire Chief Bill Pappas tells KTIV right now they can't determine the source of that propane gas leak. KTIV's Clayton Anderson has been following this story. He joins me in studio. And so, Clayton, we now know the names of the victims in this terrible tragedy.
That's right, Matt. 3 people died in the fire. 1-year-old Ezra Josiah Allen, 8-year-old Keenan Andre Allen, and their great-grandmother Sharon K. Allen. The family provided us these pictures of the 2 children, 8-year-old Keenan and 1-year-old Josiah. That's actually the great-grandmother Sharon, who also died in the fire Saturday morning. Family members say the children, and then there is the 2 others, the 1-year-old and the 8-year-old who died. Their mother, Brittany Allen, wasn't at the home at the time. That's because she was in Omaha with her 5-month-old, who was admitted to the hospital for open heart surgery. The aunt of the children, Sarah Zoop, says this has been tough for the family.
To lose 2 babies is really hard, but to add that factor of not really knowing exactly what happened, it adds another layer to it.
Zoop has created a way for the community members to donate money and funds with supplies to the family. There's a Venmo account for donations for the family. You can see that on your screen right there. That can be found at Jersey Blue, JERSYBLU. People can also donate to the Downtown Great Southern Bank. Simply say the money is for the Brittany Allen Foundation. People can also donate physical items like baby and kids clothing and personal hygiene items to the North Sioux City Fire Department. Zoop says she has to be strong to help the family deal with the aftermath of the tragedy, and she is trying to support her sister.
It's hard for me to be strong, let alone like her being strong. So I have to be really strong for her. I try not to cry too much about it because I've done my fair share of that.
It's a tough situation there. One neighbor told me she had heard a loud boom Saturday. The next thing she knew, the house was on fire. Matt.
Clayton Anderson in studio for us tonight. Clayton, thank you.